Hello everyone, I'm Heather. I'm back for a really quick video. This is just to do my TBR for Reading Rush! Oh my god, I'm so excited. Reading Rush is the very first readathon I ever did. I did it last year when I started my channel and it was amazing. I met loads of people through it and had all of the best book recs from it. It was just a blast. So I'm excited that it's coming around again, and also that it's sort of coinciding with a loosening of various pandemic lockdown things. So I'll be able to actually go out a bit and do some of the stuff. So, okay, so if you don't know anything about Reading Rush, it's a week-long readathon that happens at the end of July. I think this year it's the 20th to the 27th. It's just that sort of week. I'll put it up somewhere. And it's really fun. There's loads of little challenges that happen throughout the day as well. Like you do a daily challenge as well as you try to read 7 books through the week, you know, roughly a book a day, but I think this year mine may not work out that way. But they also do Twitter sprints and sort of various things throughout, so it's really fun. It's run by Ariel and Raylene, and I'll link all their stuff below as well. So all of the book challenges for this year have been released, and now I've sorted out my TBR, as well as the one where you've gotta touch the first book on the shelf or something like that. So I've instead decided to paper football it. Okay, so the first book that you're supposed to read is one where the cover matches your birthstone. So I was born in September. I'm a Virgo, but I don't understand that at all. I feel like I have nothing in common with a Virgo. I'm very fly by the seat of my pants, don't really give a crap about detail and stuff. So I'm a terrible Virgo. But Sapphire is my birthstone. So I have chosen to go with Gregor the Overlander by Suzanne Collins. So she's the one that wrote all the Hunger Games books, and I just recently read the sort of new prequel book that she has, Chronicle of Snakes and Birds or some crap. I can never think of the title of this book. I'll put it up somewhere. But loads of people didn't really like it, but I loved it. I just loved it. I loved Hunger Games. I loved this prequel. So I do really like Suzanne Collins. And when I saw this at the grocery store, I was like, I didn't even know that she did a kids book series. It's a middle grade book. So I'm down. I'm going to read that one. It's about this kid. He's 11 years old and he goes through a grate in his apartment or something, and it turns and it sends him into this other world or whatever. So I love that idea. I'm going with that one. Okay, so number 2 is a book that starts with the, and I had loads of people, I guess, were having problems with this. It's harder than it looks, but I didn't really have any problem at all. I have a weird amount of books that start with the. So I'm gonna go with The Secrets We Kept. I'm gonna put it up by here, and that is because I actually have the audiobook on my library BorrowBox app. And if you've seen any of my videos recently, my BorrowBox is killing me. It's throwing me all these books all at once. I'll go dry spells, months and months without anything from my BorrowBox, and then all my holds will come in at once. At the minute, I'm drowning in BorrowBox audiobooks, so I need to start incorporating them into these challenges in order to read them before they expire. So Secrets We Kept. I don't really know anything about this book. It's like a Cold War CIA Soviet spy / love story thing, which I'm into. I'm fully excited for that. I'm really ready to go. Okay, so number 3, the book prompt is to read the book that inspired a movie that you've already seen. You've seen the movie but not read the book. And when I heard this prompt, I immediately thought of something that I really wanted to do, that I've wanted to read for ages. And I thought, oh, no one's going to have that one. It's really niche and weird. But then Ariel, who's sort of part of running the Reading Rush, when she showed her TBR, she picked the same book. And I thought, oh, god damn it. Why do I always feel like I'm cleverer than I am? But anyway, it is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. I saw this movie when I was in university, so that was ages ago. It's been more than 10 years now since I've been in university, and I saw it in this really artsy theater, and I was feeling, you know, very artsy and university-y and big city-y, watching this movie. It's in French, the movie. And it's very cool and exotic and very political, and I just loved the movie, and then never actually read the book because it was a time in my life before I started reading graphic novels, and I realized that the actual book is a graphic novel, and then sort of abandoned it from there. I was like, ugh, I don't really know about the graphic novel thing. But now that it's been years and years and I've sort of like broadened my reading horizons, I read loads of graphic novels, so I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to read that one. I'm sure it's gonna be really good. So I'm gonna take this opportunity. I'm gonna read Persepolis, or Persepolis, as the movie says it is. Okay, so number 4, you have to do the first book that you touch on a shelf. But I had to sort of scale my books down to ones that I could easily read in the span of the week, you know, so novellas or audiobooks or like graphic novels or something. So in order to pick the book, I set out like a paper football challenge. And like set out the ones that were gonna fit inside this scope of what I wanted, and then paper footballed it. So I present to you. Okay, so I've got my setup here, and I've got my paper football. I'm a bit rusty on my paper footballing, so I'll have to see how this goes. But we have a couple stand-ins for audiobooks. So we have, this one is meant to be a Ta-Nehisi Coates one, that's an audiobook I have. This one is supposed to be On Earth Where We Feel Gorgeous, and this one is an Outlander novella. So all of these books are either small enough or are graphic novel-y enough to read within a day, I reckon. So they're all on the chopping block, ready for aim fire. Okay, so after all of that faff, I'm apparently terrible at all sports, even ones you just do with your fingers. We have Love Poems for Married People by John Kenny, and this book looks absolutely hilarious. Like, it's a bunch of poems or whatever, but they're poems basically about being married, which I've been married for 10 years, roughly now, and it was recommended by Ari Shapiro on NPR. Like, if you're American and you listen to NPR, Ari Shapiro is amazing and I love him, and I follow him on like Instagram and stuff like that, and he's hilarious. He's like part of this band called the Pink Flamingos or something. Anyway, I find him to be hilarious and amazing. And he said that he read this, laughed his ass off, and then immediately gave it to his husband so that he could read it as well. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about that one. The next book is a book that you read completely outside. So I guess a bunch of people in various parts of the world and in various situations in their lives have sort of brought up issues with this one, and they've said, oh, but I can't go outside, you know, where I am, we're still in lockdown, or I have a high risk condition or whatever, like I can't go outside. So the Reading Rush people have said, oh, you know, you can hack it however you want, you know, you can read in front of an open window, it doesn't really matter. Luckily, like, knock on wood, I don't really foresee a problem with this challenge. I think that I'm going to definitely be able to go outside of my house and read this book the whole time. But it did need to be sort of small, just in case, you know, like it was raining or something, or like, you know, various things. Like, I had to make sure that it was going to be small enough that I could just like read it in the park or like read it in town while I'm like having a coffee or like whatever. So I've gone with one of these novellas that I've been trying to read for ages, which is The Haunting of Tramcar 15 by P. Jelly Clark. I don't really know how to say that. Cairo, 1912. The case started simply enough for the Ministry of Alchemy, enchantments, and supernatural entities handle a possessed tram car. That's basically all you need to know to make you feel that this is going to be super awesome. I'm just going to stop it there. Okay, so number 6 is to read a book that's in a genre that you want to read more of. And I think it's not so much a genre as just sort of a sort of book grouping that I'd like to get more into, which is books by Black authors, and books sort of about sort of the systemic racism in societies and things, and sort of what white people can do to be allies in this sort of fight for, you know, more opportunities and more rights for minority cultures. So I'm going to read Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo-Lodge. And this is one that I want to read because it's sort of more Britain focused. So a lot of the books that I've been sort of looking to read recently are more about Black people's experiences in America, where I'm from. And I sort of want to get more into reading ones that are about Black people's experiences in Britain, because that's where I live. I live in Wales. So I'd like to really get to that one. Okay, and number 7 is to read a book that takes place on a different continent to where you live. So I don't think I live on a continent, I live on an island, but like whatever. And something really interesting that I found in the comments when people are sort of saying about what book they wanted to read for this or whatever. Someone said, oh, I live on North America, so I want to read this book about South America. And someone in South America was like, America is just one continent, you didn't know? And I was like, that's not right. But turns out nobody knows what continents are what continents. Like, everything I've ever learned about what a continent is completely like socially constructed. Like, my country of America, and in the area that I was taught in America, has decided that there are 7 continents. But that's not, you know, like set in stone. That's just like a culturally, like socially constructed thing. Like, some people think that there are way fewer continents. Delving into this whole thing about how everything I thought about continents could potentially be wrong is just, has completely blown my mind. But anyway, I decided to pick a book based on, you know, my personal teaching of the continents, in that Europe and Asia are completely different continents, and that Britain is part of Europe. You know, but that could all just be blown out of the water at any point. I've decided to go with it, but my mind is a noodle at the minute about it. I decided to read called Notes of a Crocodile by Chu Mao Jin? Chu Mao Jin? Is that how you say it? Anyone help me? But this is going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, really, because this is part of the book club. Bert and Sean at Past Storytime, they have their my so-called book club, their 90s book club, which I'm loving being part of at the minute. And this is the next book that we're going to do. Set in the post-martial law era of late 1980s Taipei, Notes of a Crocodile is a coming-of-age story of queer misfits discovering love, friendship, and artistic affinity while hardly studying at Taiwan's most prestigious university. I just basically, when Bert was like, guys, like, how do we feel about the next ones? I was for this one because the publisher describes it as a cult classic in China. Anything that's like described as a cult classic is definitely going to come home with me. I don't even want to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Let's just do it. So anyway, that is my last one. Okay, so here is my pile of books, including The Secrets We Kept. And I feel like, you know, it's a good spread, to be honest. Like, I've got a middle grade book, I've got like a classic / in translation, I've got a non-fiction relating to world events, I've got a sci-fi / sort of spooky thriller-ish, got a book of poetry and a graphic novel, as well as like this popular fiction spy / love story one as well. I feel like, you know, I'm covering loads of ground here, and it's gonna allow me to have a diverse reading experience in my Reading Rush week. Right, I am ready. I'm excited. I got my spread here ready to go for the end of July. Let's do it. Anyone else that's doing Reading Rush, please let me know. I want to watch your TBR. I want to follow you throughout the week of the Reading Rush so I can watch your challenges and everything. If you have anything to say about any of the books that I've mentioned, like you read them when they were good or they were bad, whatever, or if you have any sort of reading recommendations for me based on any of these things, please let me know. I love a good book recommendation. And that is all. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye.